Hi guys, my name is Matikela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about Zithulele Nxumalo standing up for himself on Judge Rata, and Judge Rata trying his best to distract him. And Ugai was like, back up, I'm not doing this with you, and I am not going down. You are going to listen to me, and I will do what I want to do without you telling me what to do and distracting me. No matter how you tried, guys, it was close to 10 minutes. Judge Rata wasting time doing back and forth with Nxumalo, and Nxumalo was like, awusoze undenzele loo nto leyo andizuva ngawe. Awuzundenzela loo nto leyo andizuva ngawe. I'm gonna do what I wanna do. And I love that he was so intentional about his responses. It was quite something unusual in other courts that are normal, what happened in court on Thursday. And everyone who understands trial felt it instantly ukuthi aibo. For days before that, Judge Rata Mokgatleng had been really quiet, almost distant, while the defense led evidence in that courtroom. But the moment Advocate Nxumalo zoomed in and zeroed inside the one thing, the occurrence book, everything changed. And he knew the courtroom itself would change. Judge Rata knew the one name that is going to pop up at some point when this happens, it's Gininda's name. And you know how he is when Gininda's name is touched. So because of the OB is not just paperwork, it is an official memory of the police. And once that memory starts contradicting testimony, the entire case is at risk. And Judge Rata knows this. He knows isn't those that are very important for any case. He knows because he's been a judge for 56 years. Nxumalo asked a simple but devastating question. Is there any way in the OB entry registers or OB registers of 19 June 2020 that shows the accused was booked out for a confession or investigations relating to the Senzo Meyiwa case? The answer was no, nothing. And that is when Judge Rata stepped in. Why is it Judge Rata that is stepping in, not Baloyi? Why is Judge Rata acting as if he is the prosecutor? And then he calls us Abondaba when we say the way he behaves is very questionable. The way he behaves. Because why step in? If there was an objection of some sort that was needed, wasn't it supposed to be Baloyi who's doing that? Now, silence, no, he was like, the silence that he did the entire time was very pleasing to most of us that are watching the case. But not to silence the question per se, but when he entered, he was not really saying, what are you doing per se, in a sense of don't ask questions. No, he was reframing where Nxumalo was going. Listen, don't go to Putin, go to America if you want to fight. That's what he was doing, kahle kahle. And the judge began constructing hypotheticals unnecessarily without anyone asking for him to do that. He asked if a suspect is booked out for one case while outside the station, police suddenly receive information linking him to another case. Are they really forbidden from speaking to him? And listen to this, listen very carefully, because this is where the tension explodes. The defense wasn't saying police can't talk. They were saying one thing. If it happened, it had to be written down. Why was it not written down? Because according to OB, the accused was booked out for an entirely different murder case from 2018, the Nongoma case, not for the 2014 Senzo Meyiwa murder case, not for a confession, not for rights explanation, not for Brigadier Gininda, not for arrangements with a magistrate, nothing. And yet the evidence before court says all of that happened anyway. That's the contradiction Nxumalo was dealing with. And the judge kept pushing, Nxumalo kept pushing back. He repeated the disputed narrative carefully, saying, I'm not saying it's true, but still laying it out piece by piece. And I was like, sir, let it go. The guy is not giving you the power. He has it. He's controlling now. Let it go. He was like, contact with senior officers, rights alleged, explained, interviews allegedly conducted, confessions, arrangements allegedly made, all with the OB, the official police record remained silent. That was the bottom line Nxumalo was talking about. Why are these things that happened were not on record? That OB is always with the police. So why did those things were not put on record? Because that silence in law is very dangerous. Urata knows that those things are needed there. Because if the court accepts that police can conduct major investigations or investigative steps without documenting them, documenting is very important. Then the OB becomes meaningless if it's going to sit there and people don't put what happened during the day when they were busy with investigations. Also, it is also quite weird that you are going to be going up and down with an accused person. Why isn't he in the cells and you come and confirm things with him? It's quite questionable, but okay, what do I know? But if the LB is upheld as the final authority, then why are things not inside? Also, the question, is it the final authority? Why Ujadrata is fighting it if it's not? Then everything that allegedly happened outside its pages collapses, if that is the case. This wasn't just Ujadrata asking question. It was this was a judicial stress test of the defense strongest weapon, and a moment where procedure clashed head on with practicality. And make no mistake, when judges intervene in situations, when they intervene in situations this deeply, it's because the ground beneath the case is unstable and the judge knows that. Ujadrata knows that everything is very unstable. He knew what was happening. He could see where Nxumalo was going, and he was very uncomfortable, him as a judge. And the question is, why is he the one uncomfortable instead of sitting there and being neutral? That does not make sense. He is the judge. Why is he acting as on behalf of prosecution? They were sitting there, both of them, keeping quiet and not seeing anything wrong with what Nxumalo was doing. But the judge was doing all the work that is supposed to be done by who? By who? By the prosecution. It did not make sense. It was very alarming, very loud, and shocking to say the least. In the Senzo Meyiwa, in the murder trial of Senzo Meyiwa, this exchange may decide far more than people realize, because at the end of this trial, one question will always echo louder than all others. If it's not in the OB, did it legally happen at all? And that is why I believe Ujadrata understood what was happening. And Ujadrata understands Nxumalo too, as a former prosecutor, that Nxumalo knows which places to get into. That is why Ujadrata was coming for Nxumalo like that. Anyway, what are your thoughts when it comes to this? Do you think Nxumalo deserves a round of applause? I believe so. I think Nxumalo deserves, because the way he stepped up for himself from Jadra, he's so used to him saying, you know what, let's let it go. This time, Nxumalo was like, no, my guy, we're not doing that now. Today is not the day. You are not going to bully me. I am going to do what I want to do, when I want to do, when I am ready to do it. And you are not going to stop me. That is exactly what happened. And I'm so proud of you. What are your thoughts when it comes to this? Let's talk in the comment section. Drop your thoughts. Thank you so much. I'll see you on our next video. Bye-bye.